Welcome to the Ravens Space on YouTube. My name is Jason, and this is Ravens Space Daily, where we give you Baltimore Ravens news every single weekday. Thank you guys so much for joining us this week. This is the last episode of the week. Please subscribe for more great Baltimore Ravens news, and we'll go right into the news. The first news story is a sad news story. Former NFL wide receiver Michael Jackson died in a motorcycle accident today. He was 48 years old. I'm going to read you guys a couple of quotes from Ozzie Newsome. Again, it's sad to see someone who was so young, 48, pass away. He was one of the early faces of the Baltimore Ravens franchise. So again, here's Ozzie Newsome's first quote. "Today, our hearts are saddened by the awful news involving Michael. He was a vibrant person who became one of the first Ravens heroes and a popular player amongst Baltimore Ravens fans. Well known for his big smile and welcoming nature, it was easy to feel a special connection with Michael." Another quote from Ozzie was, "One of my most rewarding achievements after retiring as a player was watching Michael Jackson develop as a wide receiver. When I joined the Cleveland Browns scouting department, my first opportunity to work out receivers involved Michael in that group. I evaluated probably a half dozen guys, but Michael was one of the ones who stood out to me because of his speed and range. He then became a 6th-round pick of the Browns, and I watched him evolve into an impactful player throughout his career in Cleveland and in Baltimore." So again, it's a sad story. Our hearts are with everyone in Michael Jackson's family. Again, sad thing to die at the age of 48. It's a very young age. So again, our thoughts and our condolences are with him and his family. Moving on to the next story of the day is Colin Kaepernick and chances that he might be coming to the Baltimore Ravens. Herm Edwards, and you guys don't know Herm. Herm used to be a coach. A good coach, in my opinion. So he was going through some of the possible teams that Colin Kaepernick might be a fit for. And one of his answers were the Baltimore Ravens. And when I heard that, I thought it was laughable. This is the worst idea I've heard in free agency so far for the Baltimore Ravens. Why would anyone sign up for Colin Kaepernick right now? And I know that what he did was honorable, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the decision to bring a player who was not as talented as we would have thought early in his career. Most of his skill was based on his youth and his speed. And when you get older, you lose that stuff. And on top of that, he will be a lightning rod. A lot of questions will be asked of him. A lot of questions will be asked about players. He's just right now too big of a distraction. And I felt the same way about a player like Tim Tebow, who did some good things on the field, just like Colin Kaepernick did some great things on the field. But the media storm for a backup is too crazy. No one would want to sign up for that. So again, I think Herm just threw it out there because of the Harbaugh connection. That's something that's easy to do. You see two brothers, you connect them. But I really do think this would be a terrible idea for the Ravens. And I would be super disappointed if this actually ended up happening. So again, I think it's a crazy idea. Let me know what you guys think about Kaepernick in the comments below. And then the last story of the day comes from the Bleacher Report. And it asked, do you buy the Baltimore Ravens new defense, right? So if you're a Ravens fan, you've been watching. That the Baltimore Ravens have restocked their entire defense, really. And so are you going to buy that they're going to be a dominant defense? And my answer is yes. I really do think that they'll be one of the most dominant defenses in the NFL this year. And I'll give you 2 or 3 reasons why I think they'll be a dominant defense. So the first reason is that they have defensive backs who can play the game at a high level. And in my opinion, the hardest position in the league is quarterback. The second hardest is cornerback. And so being on the island, that's hard to do. And the Ravens have, I think, 3 cornerbacks who can take responsibility on that island. You have Jimmy Smith, who, though he's injured a lot, can still, when he's on the field, be one of the best corners in the league. In my opinion, he's a top 6, 7 corner in the league. You have Brandon Carr, who, again, isn't as good, in my opinion, as Jimmy, but he will be productive. He can do that one-on-one thing. And Tavon Young, I preach the Tavon Young preach bandwagon. I'm that guy. He can defend at a high level, and I think he can defend everywhere on the field. So you have those three guys. You have Ladarius Webb, who, even though he was a safety last year, he was also a cornerback early in his career, and he'll play that Jared Powers role, I think, because it's going to be hard to get him on the field. So in order to try to get him on the field, you have to put him in that dime cornerback package. Now, this would fit perfectly because Carr and Jimmy and Humphrey are going to be switching out. Carr and Humphrey are going to be switching out more. But I do think that if Jimmy goes down, they'll stick Humphrey in there. I don't really think anyone's going to spy for Tavon Young. I think Tavon Young is going to be the guy there at that slot. But in dime situations where Jared Powers used to come in last year, that's going to be Ladarius Webb, which is great because I think Ladarius Webb played very well. And when you are a dime nickel, you're on the fourth best receiver. So he'll be just fine there. You have two great safeties. They're going to be just fine. And if you're ever in a 3-safety set, you can move Ladarius Webb back there. So it's a team on defense at the cornerback and safety position that's going to be great. The second reason why I buy the new defense is that I really do love the addition of Tyus Bowser. Tyus Bowser, Judon, Suggs, I think will be a great fit. Tim Williams will be good, but I do see Tim Williams as the fourth in that set of four. So I'm super excited about that. So we have pass rush, and the pass rush won't be able to be an elite pass rush like the Broncos have, where you have one player that will consistently beat another player on one side, and then on the other side you have one player that will consistently beat his player. When they had DeMarcus Ware and they had Von Miller, or even a couple of years ago where the Ravens had Elvis Dumervil in his prime and Terrell Suggs in his prime, and they were just killing. But it will be one of these things where the schemes will allow DMPs to get creative and we'll get pressure that way. I don't think that Suggs is at the age where he can consistently beat left tackles anymore. So, I don't think he can do that. But I do think the scheme can help him get to the quarterback. So, and those are the two main reasons. We have the pass rush now with these new young players. We're going to always have the defensive backs there. I think we'll be one of the best defensive backfields in football. And I really do believe in this defense. So that's the reason why I believe that. Bleacher Report also believes that, I believe. So we'll see what happens. Again, you guys let me know in the comments if you believe the Ravens defense will be the best defense in the league. And that's all the stories today. Slow Friday. Some sad news in the beginning. But other than that, the news really didn't trickle out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. We are doing mailbag question on Monday. And from every show since, I'll answer one question from the mailbag. So please send them in at theravenspace@gmail.com. I'll put it in the description below. Thank you guys so much, and go Ravens.